this one side at a time. We're going to start on the left here. Pull that one out. This is the non-spring side. The 5-bolt is the non-spring side. Okay, lift up the Vanoss carefully. Check this out. Okay, you're gonna have a little gasket here around. We will be replacing this, but for now, we will just place this off to the side, preferably the side that keeps flying up. Okay, this is gonna be your Vanoss. It's gonna be your piston here. You're gonna have seals, an outer seal and an inner seal. Okay. So first, you're going to take off the first portion of it. It's going to be a little bit hard material, and you'll see what I'm talking about once I pull it off. But there's basically this harder gasket on the outside, and then a regular O-ring on the inside. So it's like double gasketed in a sense. So put this to the side for 1 second. This is one of my bolts. Kind of fell in there, got lodged in there. When you're removing these bolts in the first place, try and use a magnetic tool. I was just kind of getting lazy, so trying to rush through things and it got stuck in there, so it is what it is. I probably could have used a magnetic tool to get it out, but if it happens, you could probably do that, or you can just take the Vanoss off and do what I'm doing. It's only a couple more bolts really. Plus, if you got a BMW with 191,000 miles like I did, it's probably leaking anyways. So take note of how this sits in here. It doesn't sit this way, it sits the other way. Easily put it in, easily take it out. Okay, so put this down, and the kit that I'm going to be using today, let's see here, I don't have it right in my hands, but I'm going to be using this. So this is going to be a non-marring or marring pick set. Basically it's going to be a non-scratch versus just a regular kind of pick set. These metals in here, these are soft metals. Basically the whole damn car seems like a soft metal. These are going to be easily scratched, so you want to be very careful when removing these. So if you can get a non-marring pick tool set, that's going to help you tremendously. So, of course it's not as strong as metal. See? Not as strong. So I may end up having to switch to something stronger, especially for this outer ring. And it may be impossible to kind of get these out without actually, you know, nicking some of it. Of course you want to be as careful as you possibly can, but let's see here. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. This keeps bending. So that might work for the O-ring portion of it, but the outer portion it's not going to work. Let me pause this and let me go get the regular pick set. No glove, no love, right? Didn't have one earlier. Alright. So again, be very, very careful. I'm trying to pick these off. Doesn't matter if you damage the ring, just don't damage the metal. So you're going to be replacing that anyway. So here we go. See, break that right in half, and that'll come off just like that. Okay, now like I said, it's kind of got like a double gasket on there, so you're going to need to carefully pry up the other part. Yep, this is in real time. Yeah, this sucks. Alright, anyways, got this out, so you can see, probably not too great, but this is, it's a little flattened, this little gasket here. This one's for sure flattened. This is the way this one's supposed to be, but this one ain't really supposed to be flattened. It's supposed to be nice and circular. Like I said, it's real easy to kind of nick that stuff up. It's real soft metal, but should be okay. If you need to, just slide the O-ring over and try to do it in another spot so you don't nick too much of it. So now we can go ahead and do the inner. Yeah, this kind of sucks because it takes a little bit of force, and even just a little bit of force can be too much. So that one came out, the outer. Now we have the inner. So let's see here, and I'm just going from the edge, trying to flip this thing around. If I have to stab into it, I will. If I can break it in half, that's best. Like I got this one, I just did it. Yeah, if I could break that thing in half, that is your best bet right there. Just so you can get it out on one side. And there you go. Again, flattened, hard, flattened. These were leaking for sure. These, the valve cover gasket, that stuff was leaking. So then we're gonna wipe off our mating surface here. Okay, wipe off some of this in here. Now when you grab the new O-rings, you're gonna wanna make sure you just coat it up in a little bit of oil. Okay, you're gonna wanna make sure that you don't put them in dry, because when these move back and forth, when these pistons are moving back and forth in here, you don't want the O-ring to bind up and get caught, and then it will cause leaks. So you don't wanna have to do this job again. So again, when it goes in, it's going to go in just like that, but let's go ahead, grab our new O-rings, coat them up. I'll show you which ones are going to go where, and we'll work on the spring-loaded side. Alright, so one gasket set looks like this. One black, flat gasket, kind of like that. Okay. One like this, brown. Okay, so the brown one's going to go on that first. And then for the inside, it's going to be brown first, the more cylindrical gasket, and then the flat gasket on top. So basically, it sits in there in the piston like that, basically. So let's go here. Now just be careful when installing these that you don't break the gasket. It is going to be a little hard to stretch it over. Okay. Alright, so I got it on there. And it feels like it's a little, feels a little, I don't know, I didn't feel 100% like it's right. I guess I wouldn't be able to know until the next one. So let's put this one on. You just want to make sure it's all flat. But for some reason that one was just not feeling flat. And that one's harder to do than this top one. This top one for sure feels flat. This one does not. This one down here just does not feel flat at all. Feels like it's got a little bit of a hump to it. So let's try and peel some of this off and see what we can find. Okay. That's a little bit better. Doesn't feel as good as the top one, but that just might have to be okay. So grab a little oil at the bottom of here. There should be some. If you need to grab a little quart of oil or whatever and dip your fingers in it, do that. But you want it to be lubed up, because like I said, these will be moving back and forth and you don't want that thing to get stuck. So that feels pretty decent. Probably gonna add a little more, but this one here, this side here will be complete as soon as we pull the gasket off of here. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky. This little gasket here feels like it's a little stuck. Looks like it would slide off. Yep, there we go. Looks like it would. Doesn't really slide off that good. Let's go ahead and clean the mating surface on here. So we want it to bond real nice with the new gasket. Okay, so this is the 5-bolt side. So let's go ahead and grab our 5-bolt gasket. We have 5-bolt and 4-bolt. Remember, 4-bolt is a spring-loaded side. Okay, you can see that little dimple there. It's a match. So honestly, these rings are way too damn easy to mess up. Way too easy. I'm going to try my best and salvage this one. It may or it may not leak. If it does, I've got a warranty on this. I will end up probably doing it again at a later time. But I found out a little trick to make sure it works. Basically, I have this torqued down. You want to slide this piston back and forth and make sure it does slide. This is the non-spring side. Make sure it slides back and forth. Make sure it does so smoothly. Honestly, when I took my plates off, I had to put it in the plate first and then put it in there. I tried dipping it in there first and putting the plate on, and it just wasn't working. These O-rings, they seem like they were made a little too big. They started folding over. It just took forever to try to get that in right. Make sure that slides back and forth. This one here does not slide. This one here, you will really have to press it because it has a spring. So this one ain't gonna slide like this one will. This is a free slider, this is not. I used some oil to totally coat the hell out of it. Don't be scared. Totally just coat it. It'll be alright. Anyway, since this is spring rated, take one off, take the other one off diagonally. Okay. We are using new hardware for this. Not that that really matters. You can reuse the same hardware if you'd like. No thread locker. Like I said earlier, just kind of moving some of these things out of the way. This is the first Vanoss kit. Oops. Aside from this, this is the first Vanoss kit. Okay. And what we're going to be putting on now, these O-rings, these little itty bitty O-rings go on the little needle nose pinch caps. I'll show you that later. But these 2 bolts here, so you're going to want to make sure you put one hand down. Okay. Just do this back and forth. That one's out. There you go. You don't gotta use a Hercules amount of force to hold that down, but use some kind of force. Be careful because it will snap back at you. Regardless. See, we've kind of got the same thing for this side. The only thing is this one is spring. Okay, leave the spring in there. It looks like it gets smaller as it rises, so I don't literally think it would fit. Yeah, it literally wouldn't fit. So don't worry, you cannot mess that up. So let's go ahead, grab us some towels here. Okay, flip this over. and push this out. Okay, we'll leave the orientation like this so that you know that this is how this is going to go back in, just like so. Okay, we'll begin our process again of getting this out. So yeah, just a tip. See, that one broke. It's fine because we're replacing it, but they just become so brittle. Honestly, the best way to do it might just be to break them, but not when you install them. You gotta be very careful. Keep poking myself. Eventually this will be blood, not oil. God damn. The bigger one is a lot easier to slide on than the small one for some reason. The bigger one's just way easier. Okay, literally just trying to put a hole in it. But honestly, it's inevitable. There's no way to not scratch this. No way. I tried the picks that don't do anything, and they literally cannot pick these things up. So there's no way to not scratch this. Okay. Got them. Okay. This outer ring, like I said, super easy compared to the bottom. I mean, the smaller one. Don't know why. Boom. Got it. Slides right on. Nice and easy. So we use our smaller O-ring first. And we're left in the bag with two little itty bitty O-rings. Like I said, I'll explain what those are for later. So that O-ring goes on fine. It's this one right here. Like I said, I'm gonna do my best and try and salvage this, but this thing, man, it just was not fitting right from the jump. It goes on, you know, kinda, you know, kinda okay, kinda whatever. It really sucks. Somehow it was too big and it was stretched to put on. I mean, yeah, you stretch it a little to put it on, but it was like, damn, it was just too big. So cool, there's that. So like I was saying earlier, I tried to put this end through first, but obviously I'm gonna have a fun time doing that. Before we do that, take off our little gasket here. Okay, put that to the side, grab our gasket from in here. Okay, grab a towel, some brake cleaner, and a towel. You don't really need the brake cleaner, but whatever you want. Just get it clean. Set that down. Match the divot with the divot. Right there. Okay, wipe that. Now, I ended up pouring some oil into a cap and just going crazy with the oil. Just going straight to town with this oil. Just to make sure, like I say, you don't want it to bind. And when I first put it together, it did bind. So, but I really think these are just oversized. I don't know why they're so damn big. was too big. When it went on, it was just like, it was rising up in certain spots, but we'll make the most of it. We will make the most of it. Just be extremely, extremely careful. So this is what I was talking about by putting this plate on first. But it's just such a pain trying to get the Vanoss seal to sit correctly, especially when the seal itself ain't really, it ain't good. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get this orientation right again. So I'm gonna be looking for a little divot here. Okay. Yep. So you got one for the actual hole and then one for a feed. Okay, for the oil to come in. So we're gonna go ahead, center this around the bolt. All right. Press down. And it's gonna help. If you got some kind of strength or something, or somebody to help you. Of course, my freaking bag is closed. I'll pull these out. Just get these ready. Like I said, these little 10s, low grade bolts, like 7 foot-pounds of torque. You're not going to need a lot. I can do this with one hand. You might need somebody to help you, I don't know, but one hand seems good enough. Okay. Get that on the right setting. And hold that till it goes down. Switch sides. Till it goes down. Crisscross pattern once again. Okay, so take this off. You can use an actual torque wrench if you need to. For me, I'm just kind of snug. That's what 7 foot-pounds is just gonna be snug. Like I said, no thread locker is gonna be needed. Don't use a ratchet with a super long handle because you'll start getting more torque on it. You might accidentally put too much. You don't want to do that. So, got that. So, like I said, these little O-rings go on these little plastic pieces here, and we'll put those in later because we're not actually installing the Vanoss back on the car just yet. But this is the complete Vanoss seal repair. Remember, this one with the spring does not move, but this one here should move back and forth freely, and it should not bind. Put a lot of oil, don't be scared. Okay, the seal will seal it up, keep everything how it should be. All right.